What's up, y'all? This is Detroit Sneaker News, and I'm back with another one. 2023, Happy New Year, y'all. If y'all hear me nervous introducing my guest, it's because he comes with such strong energy, and I was intimidated doing the intro right in front of him because I usually do it by myself. But come on, let's get into it. Hands down, this is the dopest interview I've done so far.
All right, this right here, this like one of my first memorabilia cases. I got another one coming from the store because I got more shoes to put in it, but this was like the original one. Starting at the top, Allen Iverson signed questions. He signed these personally for me earlier this year when he came for the dispensary. And then I got the do-rag and the arm sleeve from a couple years before when we was at Complex Con. But these right here, these are the most important things because these are shoes I had on when my kids was born. The when they gave me the babies, you know what I'm saying? When they gave me the babies, I was standing in these. So my firstborn right here, my secondborn, and my son. So my first two daughters and a son. Then I recently just had my fourth. So I got to put those shoes in the new case. She got a special pair of shoes too. And then a lot of these is some of their first pairs. And then there's one at the bottom, all the way at the bottom. That's the shoes I had on when we first, them Air Force Ones, that's a Nike ID, that's a 101. I had them on when I first opened the store the first time. So those was on the grand opening the first time. Which we about to re-grand open, and we about to do a re-grand open on the 7-year anniversary. And then those yellow, the Lightning 4s, that's for my man's Be Young. I wore them to his funeral. I actually wore them from the moment we found out he died to the funeral. And then, yeah, once we left the funeral, I cleaned them up and then put them in there. So I ain't gonna never wear them again. None of these shoes will ever get worn again. And they all been signed. They got the kids' names and birthdays on them, and then they got Be Young on there. Right there, it's the new hottest reseller in the game. It's the new one. It's the new one. He ain't gonna let me down, is he? You know that wall changed daily.
Come on, man.
Yeah. No, you the new in the game.
Y'all, this is Detroit Sneaker News, and I am your host. Trapping is my hobby, and today is very special to me because I got an important guest for y'all, G Sneaks.
Yeah.
In the G Sneaks 89 brand. He's also known for the Real Sneakerhead of Detroit brand and for his consistency in the sneaker game and in his vlogs. So we will interview him today about his inspiration behind the sneaker game and all that he had offered in the sneaker for the sneaker community. Thank you for having us, and thank you for coming to this interview. You'll be the cover of our local Legend magazine, which will be coming right after Michigan Sneaker Exchange magazine cover, which is the Founders Edition.
Local Legends.
Local Legend.
That's me.
Yeah. So why did we say that? So there's like a little story behind it. So before I actually knew or met you in person, I had followed you online for 2 years, but I've never known how you look like. And then one time, me and Dealing Sneakers Cookery, we were at DTLR, and you were there. And then when we got home, he's like, "Oh yeah, G Sneaks and his girl got that size. You didn't see him in the front." I was like, "No, I don't know who that is." He's like, "You didn't see him in the front?" I was like, "No." And then we were at the Rebellionaires release.
I remember that one.
Yep. And then this is like another story. So that's like officially how we met on that crazy day. So we had came the day before around like 8 or 9 o'clock.
Oh man, them releases get crazy.
Yeah. So he was not there yet, but then he came, I think around like 1 a.m. But he said that he was there before us, but he had just left. And I was like, I got so irked. I was like, how? I never seen you. But he showed us, he showed Pac-Man some pictures.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So the whole time, and then at the end it got so crazy, and everyone's on the sidewalk and off the sidewalk, and then he said that I bumped him. And you said, D-Lee, come and get your girl, man. So that's how we officially, me and him met, but
I'm glad.
I don't know if,
yeah.
I'm sorry if I bumped you, I don't know if I did
Hey,
that.
you know what it is?
It was crazy,
If a
but
bump lead to this, that's cool.
Thank
That's
you.
cool.
So, can you actually introduce yourself to the people in that?
Well, my real name or
Whatever you want, however you want them to know.
my name is Gavin Harlan. I'm the owner, creator, establisher or whatever. G Sneaks 89. The brand, the person, everything. I'm G Sneaks. G Sneaks originated from me, and then 89 is just packaging the whole deal. That's the brand. So G Sneaks 89. And yeah, I've been here I've been reselling for about 6 years, and the store's been here for 7. The store was actually open before I was even reselling, and I kind of just transitioned into a reseller, just to, just keep the place open and everything like that. So, I mean, that's me in a nutshell. I'm just I like to create. And I'm a fan of hard work, and that's why we.
So my question was, how did you get started in the sneaker business?
How did I get started in the sneaker business? Well, I've been in the shoes since I was child. Sneaker business. I was doing YouTube. It started from doing YouTube. At first, I was just a collector. I was just collecting and collecting. I was always been into it. So that was one of the things that I did with my money as a hobby. I collect shoes, but I always wanted to do reviews. So I was watching people do reviews on YouTube. This was early on. So I started doing it, and then it just kind of caught. So I knew I always wanted to do something as far as sneaker related, and I knew that I did want to own my own shoe store one day. But it kind of everything just kind of like jumped into pieces, and then the YouTube really came first, and that's how this building and this brand actually just gave birth, because it really just kind of step by step turned into something. But it started with the reviewing.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
So you were like after the shoes for collecting?
Yeah. See, I would go get mine,
Okay.
and then when I got mine, I would bring mine back and review it and talk about it and give my interpretation. I would compare it to older retros. I would compare it to other models, other years of the same sneaker, the colors, the inspiration behind the shoe. What else? I've been knowledgeable about this stuff since I was a child. I used to walk around with a floppy disk with the new Jordans.
How old would you say?
6th grade. I know I was in 6th grade because that's when we got introduced to that computer lab. And that was a bunch of dumb ass shit we was doing in that motherfucker, but sneakers was one of them. Okay. But I think we probably looked up every single thing we could find on the internet. But sneakers was one of them, along with a bunch of other shit though. That was at Cooley High School. I was in a triad program, so in 6th grade we was in which kind of fucked me up bad because I'm a 6th grader, I'm a child, but I'm in one of the worst high schools in Detroit.
Wow.
One of the worst ones. On what was we on? Finkel and Hubble? Don't get me wrong. Cooley on Finkel and Hubble, right? Yeah. So you gotta think I was walking to and from school over there 11, 10, something like that, yeah. So yeah, by myself too. But it was my neighborhood, so I ain't think shit up.
In your hype Jordans and stuff?
No, we ain't had Jordans yet. They had the Jordans.
Oh, okay.
They had the Jordans. The older, like the 12th graders, the 11th graders, they was actually working and shit. So some of them had the sneakers. I ain't have it, but I could see because we was in classes. I'm in 6th grade, but I got a class with 11th grader. I got a class with a 12th grader, and he got the Jordans on. So I actually personally, I don't think I got my first pair to that summer after 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how when I got my black cement 4s.
Okay.
Yeah, first pair.
So so you said it was a transition from YouTube.
Yeah.
And then collecting, and then eventually.
It started with this. It started with this, the merchandise, because I was doing the reviews, but I knew sneakers wasn't the only thing that I watched on YouTube. I watched other stuff, like I watched car channels and I watched things like that. And I noticed that some of my favorite channels, the people that I was watching, they wore they own shirts.
Okay.
So me being me, I wanted to capitalize on that, and I wanted to wear my own shirt because at the time I was, I always been a decent dressed person, and how I am, I always wanted to wear a different shirt in a review.
Okay.
And at the time I was wearing polo shirts. So if you was, a lot of that early stuff, I had on a different polo shirt in every video.
Was it called G Sneaks at that time?
No, it wasn't called G Sneaks. I was Gavin, and it was the gun bottom.
Oh, okay.
And G Sneaks didn't come along till I kind of made the first version of a G Sneak shirt.
Okay.
So as the videos progressed, I started to call myself G Sneaks.
Okay.
And that was more so when the brand started to grow and it started to get birthed.
That's pretty dope. So, what's your favorite pair of shoes or sneakers of all time?
4, Air Jordan 4, white cement, black cement. I kind of put them all there together. But my first pair of Jordans was a black cement 4. That's like my favorite still to this day. But I also I'm a big fan of the 13. 13, I feel like that Air Jordan has the most coldest inspiration behind it, and the design and everything. That Black Panther is pretty dope. And that hologram on the back of that bubble is just, that was one of the things that made me fall in love with Jordans when I first came across them as a child.
That's amazing. Okay. Do you have like a favorite from the current releases?
Cool Grey 4,
Okay.
Katrina 3, Mocha 3. I'm a big fan. See, the thing is, the Cool Grey 4, the Katrina 3, the Mocha 3, those were like grills when I was getting my shoes.
Okay.
So when I was
first,
so the Mocha 3, that was like a grill.
Mm-hmm.
That was something that we inspired to have.
Okay.
So when they actually came out, that was one. Same thing with the Cool Grey 4. The Cool Grey 4 was, oh man, that was the shoe that, when I got to Southfield High,
Okay.
when I came to Southfield High after my school closed in 9th grade, when I came to Southfield High, that 10th grade in the fall, that was the back to school shoe. So when I got there in 10th grade, I remember everybody having a Cool Grey 4. And I was like, what the fuck? I wasn't on it
Right.
like every release.
And you said what 10th grade?
It was 10th grade. That was 10th
Wow.
grade. I got there in 10th
All
grade.
the way there.
And when I got there, like September,
Okay.
first day of school, everybody had the Cool Grey 4 on. And it stood out to me. I noticed it like,
Yeah.
these are new Jordans, this is the best,
Yeah.
And then I think Southfield High is what really made me want to stay up on them, because they was on them.
Okay.
Detroit, when we was in DPS, you would catch them like, all right, because the money different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When you come across 8 Mile, the money different.
Right.
In Detroit, the freshest kid probably he was getting a new Jordans once every other month.
Right.
Once every other 3 months.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I get to Southfield High, they own them bitches two a month. One at the beginning of the month, because that's when the releases started to kind of pick up. But I was rolling with some cats, they was getting all them bitches. All of them, everything. Like, when Jordan first started dropping 2 shoes on one day, like the general release one, then they had a limited one. Bro, it was niggas coming to school with both them bitches. So that was that really drove my level of competitiveness.
Was that like the root of your?
Oh yeah, that shit got bad. That shit got bad. That's why we here today. Shit, that's why we here today.
Okay.
I had some homies, man, we was young, but they was getting some money. Like children.
Wow.
Getting money. Children. Yays, Al Sims, Jordans, Nextels. All. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about you got one of the, you talking about you come to school with glasses, coat, J's, phone.
Damn.
We 16, we 15. You know?
Drift out.
It was crazy. Yeah. It was definitely a lifestyle. Definitely it just kind of took that flashlight and put it on the lane I was going. So yeah, that's really where I originate from. Snatching yays and stealing phones. That's where we come from.
So what's your biggest inspiration that keeps you going in the sneaker business?
Well, I ain't did nothing in it for real yet.
You think so?
I'm just
Getting started?
yeah.
Okay.
You see a Nike collab in somewhere? I mean, you see the Nike IDs, but I did those. But you know, I mean, I ain't got this yet. You know, this is the goal, but this is the first goal.
Yeah.
So shout out to Ro, you know what I'm saying? Definitely a great inspiration for us all. So, but I gotta get here, and then I gotta go a little further past that. Yeah, we not even. I feel like I'm still an entry level position. You know, so until I get a lot more accomplished, I wouldn't even call myself a legend yet. But it's cool to see that we even looked at in that way this early in the game.
So what keeps you inspired? Like, is it the love of the sneakers, or do you have, like, what's behind your drive?
Personal, I really think it's like personal attributes. You know, I just feel like from early on, I've always been heavy on myself. I'm my biggest critic. I'm my toughest fan. I'm harder on myself than anybody could ever be. You know, anybody got anything to say about me, I done said it to myself 100 times. You gotta think I done killed myself in dreams before. You know what I'm saying? So nothing out here fears me. You know what I'm saying? I'm more afraid of not being who I feel like I should be.
Okay.
That's what scares me the most. So yeah, that'll drive you, that'll make you never sleep.
Okay.
You know, because too much sleep, you know, that's bad. That's bad. You know, I don't like to, I sleep because I need to rest.
Okay.
But I don't sleep because you know what I'm saying? I get my little rest, I go. I get my little rest, I go. And I rest when it's time to. Like, I don't have a bedtime. When my body and my mind say it's time to rest, it's time to rest. And then when I'm up the next day. And we back on it.
All right. So our next section is like what the people wanted us to ask G Sneaks. And they want to know, like, we always see you by yourself. Is this a one-man show?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, there's people that play roles, but it's really a one-man show. It is.
so how do you do it by yourself?
I don't know. Don't ask me. Well, it's not a one-man show. It's me and God. It's me and God. Because he make everything possible, and you have no idea. You have no idea. You know how many times, crazy, I done prayed for pandas before I walked in and got 20 of them.
20 of
I
them.
literally got out the car. I would get out the car and,
Yeah.
walk in
You
the
just
store, that
don't know.
motherfucker on the wall.
Just
I
you.
swear to God. I
Just
swear.
yourself.
Just by myself. And me just doing what I do. But I done literally prayed for pandas before I got out. Big numbers, big amounts. Y'all all see that on the Real Sneakerhead of Detroit. I don't believe none of that out. I don't believe none of that. There's prayers in there. There's some of everything in there. You're gonna see me do my daily route, and that's just what Real Sneakerhead of Detroit is.
Okay.
So there are definitely scenes where I pray for pandas and go in the store, and there's 20 of them in there.
Okay.
And I think when I get to editing that part, it probably give me chills. Because it really happened. Literally, like, Lord, please. Need some fucking pandas. Last store today, too. Like, I've been out here for hours, I ain't found shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, make sure.
That's a blessing.
Is that more what it's talking about? Let me see. The battery might have went dead. Oh, it wasn't even recording. Yeah.
Our next question is, what's your inspiration behind the G Sneaks 89 brand and the Real Sneakerhead of Detroit? Like, how did you come about that?
Well,
What does it represent?
Well, G Sneakers is an abbreviation for Gavin Sneakers.
Okay.
And 89 is the year I was born. It's not really no
Okay.
complex to it, but I just like to abbreviate shit. I got a thing with it. I abbreviate everything. Especially when I'm coming up with something, I just like to abbreviate it. So it's really Gavin Sneakers. In 1989, year I was born.
And you turned it into a brand.
I turned it into a brand, yeah. But see, you know why? My homie, my man's told me, I told him I wanted to do a t-shirt. At that time, it was G Sneaks, spelled all the way out.
Okay.
It was GSNEAKS. It was G Sneaks. And I remember I came to him and I was like, you want to get in on this t-shirt business with me? You know what I'm saying? I want to start this brand. He told me no. He told me no. He told me no. He said, I'm not going to wear no shirt with your name on it. But he was sitting there with a polo shirt on. And I said, well, you ain't gonna wear mine, but you'll wear his. But that was, another topic for a conversation. But that night I went home and I took the vowels out and abbreviated to make it a logo. To take it, I wanted to separate myself from it.
Okay.
So that's where the abbreviation came in, to make it for everybody, not just for me.
That's pretty dope. And how about the Real Sneakerhead of Detroit?
Real Sneakerhead Detroit, that's me.
That's
Yeah, that's me. That's just me.
Are you on the logo? Is that you?
That's my son.
Oh, your son.
That's Deuce. That's Deuce. That's me. Real Sneakerhead Detroit. I feel like how I feel about sneakers really comes from like New York and LA. And I've traveled there so much, so I've always tried to bring their vibe back to Detroit. When I opened up G Sneaks the first time, I got that shit from California. Called a sneaker boutique. That shit came from California, New York, because that's where I was visiting them at.
Right.
You had what's the names? You had them big ones out there.
Round two.
No, I don't even think they was out yet. I think the biggest one. Oh, forgive me. What is it? What's the big one in New York? Flight Club. Flight Club. You had like Flight Club and stuff like that. So from YouTube, I got up on them on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I seen stuff about Supreme and I've seen stuff about Flight Club and all that on YouTube. So when I got a chance to travel, I went there.
Okay.
And I went in there and I saw them places and you had like the clothing with Supreme and then you had Flight Club with the shoes. So I kind of took some of everything from everybody. You had like what was another big, my memory is terrible these days. Undefeated. I took a lot from Undefeated. That's kind of where the abbreviation came from. To think about it, came from Undefeated. I'm a big fan of Undefeated. I'm a big fan of Supreme. So you got Undefeated and you got them mixed with like Flight Club with the reselling aspect, and then the luxury with like Gucci, Prada, all that. And then you mix it together, you get G Sneaks.
That's dope. So, when did you get this store? Like, you said you had opened it before.
Yeah, it opened in 2015. I had quit my job and opened this motherfucker. Cold turkey. I said, I'm out. And I opened it up. They had pissed me off at work. And I was out. And I knew I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to be done with that shit, so I left. And then my mom, she's a doctor. So she was looking for buildings to move her clinic. And she stumbled onto this corner and this lady that had both buildings. So, me and my mom always gonna capitalize on something. That's kind of where I get it from. I ain't gonna say kind of, that's exactly where I get it from. She got multiple businesses and she done, did all these type of things. So, I'm still finding out stuff that she done tried to start in her life to this day. So she came over and found these buildings and she seen the lady had two. And she knew I was about to quit my job and I wanted to open up my clothing store. I wanted to open up this. They weren't even about the shows. It was not reselling. And she, of course, me, I'm like, all right, hey, my mama over here, I'm good, So it's one of them type of things. If my mama here, I'm good. So I went with her. As soon as she seen the buildings, I came through and I could see it.
This building?
Yes, I could see it. I gutted this building. This was an office building. And we was like sitting in one of the offices. And there was a wall right here. It was a wall right here. And then there was another office. And then that was like the waiting room in the front. So I knocked all that shit out. And then we made it a store. And this is the second, I ain't even gonna lie to you, this might be the third remodel.
Okay.
This might be the third one.
Do you feel like this is like your forever store?
Hell yeah, man, it's blood, sweat, and tears, man. I done sat in that corner over there and cried. You know what I'm saying? Shit, it's on everything here. Yeah, this is it. This is it.
All right. What else we have for you today? A lot of people respect you for your consistency in this.
Is that so? Is that what they respect me for?
Yeah.
Okay.
What advice do you like give like newcomers in the sneaker game or like the younger generation or even like to your kids like if they watch this one day, like what advice do you give to that you feel have helped you with your success?
Well, first of all, you gotta want it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, this right here, you gotta see the end goal first. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know exactly where you wanna go, what you want it to look like. Like all this shit starts in the back of my head. You know what I'm saying? But these sparks come from life. Arguments, love, sex, happiness, you know, something gives you, this Kid Crack logo comes from, this one on my hand, this one comes from probably the best love I'll ever know. You know what I'm saying? So,
It's
life,
being real.
yeah, life gives you moments and you capture them, you get ideas and they become shit. But I'm a person that, one thing about me, like I said, I'm hard on myself. So if I start something, I drill myself to finish it because that's the hardest part of life. The hardest part of life is starting something and fucking finishing it. It take everybody, damn near all of you to start something. It's gonna take your life to finish it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be willing to go through everything, anything, and you know, you can't skip nothing, you can't go through no hard. You gotta jump every hurdle, you gotta go through them. You know, and then you come out better, stronger, and usually the shit that you obsess over and the shit that you crave, you manifest it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you feel like you manifested?
Everything. Very, very rarely in my life do I have some shit that I ain't think about having it first. You know, so you think about it, and then once you think about having it and you obsess over it, I'll watch man, let me want a motherfucking car right now. I'll watch every YouTube tutorial review of that car. So when I go to the dealership, I'm telling them what the fuck the car do. You know what I'm saying? This car do this, and then, oh, okay. I've corrected their ass too. They be like, oh, it got this much horsepower. No, it don't. I got, shit like that.
Okay. So that will conclude what we have for you tonight. And do you have anything that you want to say to the people? I know you told us about your grand opening. If you want to.
Oh, yeah, this place reopens. What I want to do is get everybody to know that this place is open every day, 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 8, Monday through Saturday, 10 to 8, Sunday, 11 to 6, 365 days a year, minus, you know, a few important holidays. I think the first, because like I said, this is not a grand opening, it's a re-grand opening. We was already here for 7 years, so we already got a huge clientele. But I've always, this is gonna be one of the most difficult things that I gotta do because like I said, G Sneaks is my firstborn, it's my child, now I gotta share with the world. It's like sending your kid off to daycare,
Right.
send it off to first grade. I gotta remove myself from this place and give it to the people. Because before it was very closed off. You couldn't get in here if I didn't know you.
Right.
You couldn't come in here, I didn't get everyday traffic. I only got appointments only.
Right.
And I liked it like that because I knew what time to be here. It allowed me to run the show by myself.
Right.
Because everybody was coming when I told them to come.
Right.
But that's not how you, it's cool to have that personally, that personal one-on-one with your customers, but that's not how you turn a brand into a Foot Locker.
True.
And that's the end goal. This is the first Foot Locker that we sitting in right now.
So that's your end goal is to grow this.
Our vision, you always gotta know where your target, who you shooting at. So right now I'm shooting at Foot Locker.
What's your biggest goal on this sneaker?
What's my biggest goal in the sneaker?
Yeah.
To be a household name. You know, to be something my kids can live off forever. Like I can go now. You know what I'm saying? I can go off and live my life. I can go off and whatever it is I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I created a staple on this planet. It's gonna live forever. It's gonna be here. Our future generations, as long as this earth is turning, they gonna be able to go to a G Sneaks and cop some sneakers and some tees or whatever it evolved to.
That's amazing. Like, bigger than Mr. Evans.
Yeah. See, I got a personal relationship with them too. So yeah, and you know, this kind of.
I can see it with the logo on the buildings.
Yeah.
You know?
They was around a little bit before me, but basically I'm walking in those footsteps. Cause I done seen so many examples in my life where people have started from where I started from. They had less than I had growing up, and they
On the next level.
done got here and they done got there. You know what I'm saying? That's what hip hop and rap and all that do for us. It's just it's like a book with other stories that you can relate to. You know, because they tell so much of their life in their music. It's like, okay, well, he gonna say this, and I got over this, and now look at me. And I started this way, and I ended this way, and now look at me. Right. That's one of the things that I like about hip hop the most. It's the start, the grind, the hustle, and the outcome.
Right.
Yeah.
The real results of that.
Results. That's all that matters at the end of the day, is the end results.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to thank you for this opportunity.
Appreciate it. I click that. Perfect.
All right.
Oh no, thank you. I appreciate y'all.
All right.
So November 13th, come on out. I'm gonna have some good stuff. What I'm planning on doing is, cause we about to hit our 1,000 subscriber mark. That's another thing.
Yeah, we waiting on that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's.
What number are you at right now?
Let's check. What's live?
Yeah.
Where my phone at? King.
'Cause there's a giveaway, right?
Yeah, it's a giveaway, and our link I'm going.
Was it the 1,000 and then the 4,000?
We just gonna worry about the 1,000 right now, cause it took so long to get back here. 940.
940. Wow.
60.
Favorite shoe, you should have been like the shoe for this year or like last year.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I know they probably gonna. I
You
made
have
a.
a favorite shoe this year or last year?
My favorite shoe of this year.
Yeah, or like, well, yeah, within the last 2 years. Like, I would say like this year and last year. Sure, bro. I'm talking.
Thank you.
Y'all be safe.
All right, Ken, I'm gonna call you. My favorite shoe from this year. That's kind of weird. It's a weird question. I'm gonna give you a few of them. My favorite 4 from this year. The white and blue. Midnight Navy 4. My favorite mid from this year would be the low top Jordan 1, the shadow toe. That is my favorite. That's one of my favorite shoes. My favorite 2 gonna be the original. My favorite 3, Fire Red 3 this year. No brainer. 4, 5. Did I have a favorite 5? I don't think so, because I haven't been a big fan of the 5s lately, because I was a huge fan of the 5. 6 is probably gonna be these black and chromes. 7s, Cardinals, and the citrus. Citrus, hands down. That's probably gonna be. That might be my number 1 shoe of the year. That citrus 7. It take me back to my senior year in high school.
That's
We ain't gonna get no 8s, no 9s. The 9s is pretty dope. That's about to come out. They can give me a steel 10 any day. 11s, some cherries fire. I like those. 12s, yeah. The white and gray 12s, the gray and white 12, that stealth 12, that was a nice one. I like that one. 13s, that Flint 13 was dope as hell.
Yeah.
Any 13 they give me, I'll be satisfied with on trip. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much a nutshell. But that Lost and Found Chicago one, that's gonna be.
So you don't think you could pick one? You couldn't pick one to be your favorite?
Probably this 218. This my favorite shoe of the year.
Dang.
That's my favorite shoe of the year.
What about last year?
Lightning 4s.
Oh, okay.
Lightning 4s.
Yeah.
Lightning 4s. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a dope lineup.
I like original. I love original, but I like that first wave of new Jordans. You know, we had the lineup, but around that 05, 06, 07, those Jordans, them limited runs is crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? It's some 3s and 4s in there that they just play with. They ain't even put them out yet. Do the right thing 4s, do the right thing 3s, linen 4s. Ah man, let's miss 4s. Shit, they drop a miss 4 right now, it'd be a problem. Linen 4 right now would be a problem. And the thing is, it'd be crazy if they bring back that linen 4, because that bitch was a women's shoe back then. Would it still be a women's night, or would it not be? Y'all gonna make it a men's? Because that linen 4, I can't wait to get my hands on that. You know, it was a dope one.
So you've been doing the reviews for how many years?
Shit. I think I did my first review in 2011.
Okay.
11. I've been out here a long fucking time. I started this, I was well into my early 20s. I'm 33 years old.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.